everybody, and welcome to lyranara.com and lyranara.me, the place where you can find the most powerful and efficient natural holistic remedies as well as therapeutic and treatment devices on the planet. And today marks the start of a new series on our YouTube channel that we're gonna call Small Secrets of Life, where we're gonna talk to you about very common conditions that plague a lot of people, and we're gonna concentrate, of course, on natural holistic remedies and ways to treat them. And today's subject is constipation, and we're gonna see what causes it. We're gonna talk about signs to be aware of. We're gonna explain to you what happens in your organism when you have constipation. And then, of course, the meat of this presentation is going to be homeopathic, Ayurvedic remedies, supplements, home remedies, the diet, what you should eat, what you should avoid, as well as herbs. So all of the natural remedies that will help you not get constipation in the first place, and then, of course, treat it once you have it. So without further ado, let's dive right into it and learn more about constipation. So first, what we need to realize is that constipation is just a symptom. It's not a disease. It essentially refers to an irregular bowel movement or difficulties in passing stool. Irregular bowel movement means passing less than 3 to 5 stools per week, and other indicative symptoms are hard, insufficient or unsatisfactory stool, or feeling of incomplete bowel evacuation, straining at stool, and in extreme cases need to use laxatives. And there are many factors that predispose a person to constipation. Some of them are a diet that is low in fiber and vegetables and too high in proteins and carbs, especially in sugar and starchy food. A sedentary lifestyle and decreased physical activity, insufficient water intake, taking supplements such as calcium and iron, overuse of drugs such as anti-acid medications, antidepressants, laxatives, as well as painkillers, a consumption of too much dairy products, especially cheese. Medical conditions are linked to constipation such as diabetes mellitus, spinal cord lesions, hypothyroidism, colon cancer, irritable bowel syndrome, hemorrhoids, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, stress, as well as pregnancy. So what are the symptoms of constipation? Well, gas in your abdomen, a bloating abdomen, pain in your abdomen, headaches and nausea. Bleeding may also occur while you pass stool due to the fissures and piles as a result of your constipation or from passing the hard stool. Other attending features include pain and a burning sensation while passing the stool, and the pain and burning in the rectum may continue even after you've passed the stool. And long-standing constipation may lead to piles, anal fissures, and rectal prolapse. Abdominal hernia may also rise from long-standing constipation, and the piles are swollen. The dilated veins in the rectal canal or anus are a sign. Anal fissure refers to a tear in the tissue lining of the anus, and the rectal prolapse refers to a protrusion of a part or the entire rectum from the anus. Abdominal hernia is the protrusion of an organ through the abdominal wall or cavity which normally contains it. Why did we want and is it necessary to talk about constipation? Well, because it plagues a lot of people. It's been said that about 16 to 20% of the total North American population suffers from frequent or chronic constipation. 1/2 of all doctor visits to gastroenterology offices are related to functional digestive disorders that cause constipation. 34% of people with constipation consult a physician for help, while 35% of these individuals use laxatives on their own. It's estimated that the annual expenditure on over-the-counter laxatives in the US alone is now over $800 million. 2% of women and 1.5% of men report using laxatives at least every other day, and women experience constipation more often than men do. Some surveys show women become constipated 2 to 3 times more often than men. Older age also increases your risk of becoming constipated, and the highest risk is for people over 65. Among adults over 50, around 10% of all men and 20% of all women have frequent constipation, and in adults older than 70, this rate rises to 21% for men and 25% for women. 60% of women also report experiencing symptoms of constipation at least weekly, and more than 90% monthly. More than 60% of women living with frequent constipation report that they have experienced symptoms for more than 10 years also, and lower socioeconomic status, rural residency, living in cold climates, and lower education all appear to be risk factors for constipation. So it's a very widespread condition that, as we will see, can be easily rectified with natural side effect-free remedies. But before we dive right into the remedies, a little bit of information about the physiology of constipation. So your colon has a limited role in digestion, but is very important for stool formation and storage, as well as excretion of metabolism, digestion, wastes. The colon's main function is to absorb approximately 1.5 liters of water daily from the stool through a sodium transporter in exchange with potassium, as well as to absorb chloride in exchange with bicarbonate, and to absorb also vitamin K that is produced by the colonic flora. As a result, severe chronic diarrhea leads to significant stool losses of potassium and bicarbonate, resulting in hypokalemia and metabolic acidosis. And the use of antibiotics can lead to eradication of the normal colonic flora also, and a vitamin K deficiency in those with poor nutrition. The colon also displays two motility patterns: segmental mixing contractions with slow forward propulsion and high amplitude sweeping contraction occurring up to 10 times a day. And these sweeping contractions typically occur in the morning and after meals, and are caused by what is known as the gastrocolic reflex, and produce the urge to defecate. When the rectum fills with stool and its wall stretches, a rectoanal inhibitory reflex is activated that results in a relaxation of the internal sphincter, and the external sphincter remains contracted until the situation is appropriate for defecation. At that point, with abdominal straining, the rectum contracts while the external sphincter and the puborectalis muscle relax to a straightening of the rectoanal angle and a smooth exit of the stool. On the other hand, if defecation is not desired, the brainstem sends inhibitory signals through descending nerve fibers, resulting in a relaxation of the rectum until the next wave of stool arrives and the contraction process is reinitiated. And this explains why during travel, meetings, conferences, etc., you do not experience the sensation of eliminating stool, or you may even become temporarily constipated. Now, with the theory of constipation out of the way, we come to the meat of this presentation, and that is natural solutions. And there is many of them out there that are readily available and work just great, and we're gonna talk about the most important ones here. And we're gonna kick this off by talking about the homeopathic remedies that are good for constipation or preventing constipation, of course. So specific homeopathic remedies are extremely effective in treating constipation in persons of all age groups, and acute as well as chronic cases of constipations are known to respond wonderfully well to homeopathic treatment. Homeopathic medicine for constipation helps improve bowel motility, and in fact they even treat conditions such as piles and anal fissures arising from long-term constipation. These medicines are natural and they are safe, and they don't have any adverse side effects. First up is Nux vomica. For constipation cases with insufficient stool and ineffectual urging, we highly recommend Nux vomica. A person who needs Nux vomica passes stool scantily or very frequently. The stool is unsatisfactory and insufficient. Even after passing stool many times a day, there is never a I'm done feeling. Abdomen pain may also arise along with constipation, and Nux vomica is also a good choice for treating constipation in persons with a sedentary lifestyle. It is also very effective at treating piles that arise from constipation. Second, we recommend Bryonia alba. For constipation with hard, dry stool that passes in lumps, if your stool is dry, as if burned, and is passed with much difficulty, and your abdominal distension is also noted in some cases, you get headaches from constipation, you might very well treat this with Bryonia alba. Third up is alumina. A guiding symptom for using alumina is the constipation for days in a row. The person that needs alumina will go days without passing any stool up to 1 week. The intestine action is extremely sluggish in those persons, and stool is passed only when there is a large accumulation of fecal matter in the intestine. Another important symptom for using alumina is excessive straining to pass stool even when the stool is soft. Alumina is also indicated for constipation in children, infants, bottle-fed babies, and elderly persons. Another homeopathic remedy that works really great is silicea or silicea. It's a significant homeopathic remedy for constipation when the stool recedes after being partially expelled. In some cases, the stool is known to recede after being partially expelled, and silicea is the most useful homeopathic medicine for constipation in this specific case. If the stool is soft and needs straining to pass out but recedes back into the rectum after being partially expelled, silicea is the remedy you want. There is a constriction of the anus, and the exhaustion attends straining efforts to pass the stool. You might also feel a burning, a smarting pain at the anus, and constipation in women before and during menses makes another case for using the homeopathic medicine called silicea. Another one that is great is Antimonium crudum and Podophyllum peltatum. Antimonium crudum and Podophyllum peltatum are two prominent homeopathic medicines for constipation alternating with diarrhea. Antimonium crudum is an effective homeopathic medicine for constipation which treats soreness of your rectum, anal itching, and mucus piles. It is extremely useful for alternating constipation and diarrhea in elderly people, and some unique features to look out for while prescribing homeopathic remedies such as podophyllum, apart from the alternating constipation and diarrhea, are gurgling in your bowels, prolapse of rectum with a stool, clay-colored stool or greenish stool, and highly offensive stool. Next up is Aesculus hippocastanum and Collinsonia canadensis. They have been shown to be the most remarkable recovery, to have produced the most remarkable recoveries in cases of constipation with piles. Aesculus hippocastanum is a homeopathic medicine for constipation advised in case of a dry, hard, knotty stool with painful piles. There is a sensation of small sticks stuck in your rectum, and pain may worsen while walking. Aesculus hippocastanum is useful for piles that are bleeding or the blind type. A severe lower backache attends the piles complaints, which it also treats, and the characteristic features to look out for when you're using Collinsonia canadensis are protruding piles with hard stool, itching or constriction at the anus may also be noticed, and a homeopathic medicine for constipation is well indicated also for constipation during your pregnancy. Next up in our list of homeopathic remedies for constipation are Ratania and nitric acid. Ratania and nitric acid are well recognized homeopathic remedies for anal fissures with constipation. Ratania is more useful in the case of an anal fissure with a burning pain and a constriction at the anus while passing stool. The stool is passed with great effort and strain, and the burning may continue for hours after the stool is passed. Cold water application may also relieve the burning pains. Homeopathic medicine that is called nitric acid is the choice where there is bleeding and pain while passing stool. And the pain may be tearing, cutting, or stitching in nature. Next is Natrum muriaticum. In cases where the stool is passed on alternative days, the homeopathic remedy called Natrum muriaticum is what a doctor's order to regulate your bowel movements. And the attending features are a constriction in the rectum, a smarting, burning, or tearing pain at the anus. Also a great homeopathic remedy is opium and Chelidonium majus. Both of those homeopathic remedies do work very well in cases of constipation where the stool is hard, dry, and it's passed in a ball-like form. In addition, opium is also the homeopathic medicine for constipation where the person has been taking laxatives to pass the stool for a long time. Also great is Lycopodium clavatum. Lycopodium clavatum works wonders in cases especially where the constipation is attendant with flatulence and a bloated abdomen. It's also the most powerful and helpful homeopathic medicine for constipation in elderly people and is very useful for irritable bowel syndrome. Also, some of the homeopathic remedies that need mentioning is causticum. It's very helpful when you have difficulties passing your stool. Sepia or sepia is beneficial in case of rectum sensation and hard stool. Calcarea carbonica is a good homeopathic remedy also for constipation, and sulfur is recommended in case of excessive gas and a dry, hard stool. Next up are herbs. Herbs are great to treat constipation. Many of them are known already, and in fact, many over-the-counter laxatives contain herbal ingredients because they work so great and have no side effects. Most laxative herbs contain so-called anthraquinones or substances that have a stimulant effect on the intestine, and these laxatives work by drawing in fluid to the colon and increasing the peristalsis. Peristalsis is the contraction of the intestines that helps to move material through your colon to the rectum, and 5 herbal remedies that we would like to recommend to you are first up buckthorn, also called Cascara sagrada. That's a very popular herbal laxative that comes from the bark extract of a species of the buckthorn tree. This extract works by irritating the colon enough to promote bowel movements, and short-term use is usually well tolerated, but it may cause abdominal pain or electrolyte imbalance, so careful with the dosage there. Long-term use may also cause liver injury ranging from mild to acute liver failure. Next herb that is very helpful is psyllium. Is a natural fiber laxative that helps create bulk stools. Psyllium is often used to treat chronic constipation and may be combined with other laxatives, both natural and synthetic. Of course, we recommend natural. Rarely, it may also cause nausea, stomach pain, or vomiting. Highly recommended also rhubarb. Rhubarb has a laxative effect, but a study published in the Journal of Pharmacology found that it also has anti-diarrheal effects because of its tannin content. As a result, rhubarb should only be used on a short-term basis for constipation. Fourth is senna. Senna is used to treat constipation and to clear the bowel before some medical procedures. The fruit is thought to be gentler than the leaf. Still, it should only be used in the short term and at the recommended doses. Long-term and high-dose use has been reported to cause liver damages. Fifth is slippery elm. This Mucilage herb has a history of use for constipation. It stimulates the nerves in the gastrointestinal tract, which leads to a mucus production and provides relief from constipation. Limited research has been done to determine the long-term effects. Slippery elm does coat the gastrointestinal tract, so it may reduce absorption of some medications if taken at the same time. So careful again here as well. Always, always, always consult your practitioner before taking any of those supplements, of course. Sixth is aloe vera. It's used typically for things like sunburn, but it's also considered a natural laxative. Not many people know, but it's true. And last but not least is fenugreek. It's traditionally known as a cooking herb, but the seeds are also known to help to settle the stomach and relieve constipation. Fenugreek is also a good source of fiber and contains key vitamins and minerals. There are also some great Ayurvedic remedies that can help you treat constipation. For example, you can soak the mix of amalthus fruit together with tamarind and keep it overnight before you drinking and filter. You will filter it, of course, and you should drink 10 to 20 milliliters of the fruit juice that you've produced twice a day. 5 milliliters of ghee along with warm milk may be also taken at bedtime as a good natural remedy. Spinach juice helps also to relieve constipation. Isabgol, also called Plantago ovata, and Vitis vinifera, boiled with milk, and you can take then the mix at bedtime with 5 milliliters of ghee. It is a Ayurvedic remedy for sluggish bowel movements. Triphala powder is an excellent natural colon cleanser. Warm lemon juice helps in the clearing motion. Isabgua is quite effective treatment. Bell fruit is an Ayurvedic food and is very helpful in removing waste from your body. As a herbal medicine for acute constipation, it is better to take the ripe fruit of Balearic myrobalan. Cassia is a good remedy in the treatment of constipation. Chicory is a natural laxative that is also highly recommended and is used in Ayurvedic medicine regularly. Haritak is an Ayurvedic herb also that is helpful for treating constipation, and spices like cumin seeds, coriander, and turmeric powder helps you more easily digest the foods you take in. Next up are some supplements that help you relieve constipations, all natural of course again. Sprouted chia seeds and flax seeds are high in fiber and healthy fats, plus they help absorb water. Flaxseed oil especially helps lubricate your colon. Consume about 2 to 3 tablespoons of the seeds that you soaked, ideally to help release the nutrients contained in them. You take those 2 to 3 tablespoons daily with the water or liquid and consider taking 1 tablespoon daily of flaxseed oil as well. Psyllium husk is high in fiber and is very helpful for forming stool. When combined with water or other liquids, psyllium husks swell and produce more bulk, which stimulates the intestines to contract and helps speed up the passage of stool through the digestive tract. For adults and children over 12 years, you might mix 1 tablespoon with 8 ounces of liquid once daily. Cod liver oil is also a great traditional remedy that is used upon waking. 1 tablespoon of cod liver oil or flaxseed oil mixed with 8 ounces of fresh pressed carrot juice are great to stimulate your bowel movements. Apple fiber, apples and pears actually contain a special type of fiber called pectin. And pectin is an insoluble fiber that helps the stool become bulky, allowing it to pass through the digestive system much easier. You should consume about 1 to 2 teaspoons twice daily. Probiotics are also great for maintaining a healthy intestinal tract that is critical for avoiding digestive problems in the first place. Take a daily probiotic supplement containing at least 50 billion live and active bacteria. Do not forget probiotic bacteria nutrients found in the prebiotic such as inulin. Aloe vera juice helps also reduce inflammation and improve the frequency of your bowel movements. You can take a 1/4 cup twice daily while adjusting the amount based on your symptoms and again in consultation with your natural practitioner. Castor oil has a compound that when digested stimulates the small and large intestine. You can swallow 1 to 2 tablespoons quickly on an empty stomach and give it 8 hours to work its magic. Tastes nasty, but it really works. Another natural remedy that is often overlooked is magnesium to relieve constipation. It's definitely one of the best natural remedies to relieve it, and in fact this mineral is guaranteed to make you as loose as a goose, as they say, in just a few hours. It relaxes the nerves and your muscles, which of course includes the nerves and muscles of the intestines and your colon. Magnesium also helps to draw water into the colon to soften the stools, making it much easier to pass. Thus, magnesium fulfills the two most important functions for treating and curing constipation. First, it relaxes the muscles of the bowel and intestines, and second, it helps to soften the stool. If you are prone to constipation, we recommend you don't ever go without it. To get your dose of magnesium, there are several options. First up is magnesium oxide. Seems to be the best for treating and curing constipation. For severe constipation, you will need to take a high dose for the first 24 to 48 hours, somewhere around 3,000 to 4,000 milligrams in divided doses. This means if you have the 400 milligram capsules, you would need to take about 8 to 10 capsules spaced evenly throughout the day. Then for the maintenance, the dose, so you never get constipated again, you should, it would be sufficient to take in the vicinity of 500 to 700 milligrams a day, preferably before bed. Second option is the so-called milk of magnesia, also called magnesium hydroxide. It's a very effective treatment for constipation, especially during pregnancy. This is a fast-acting magnesium in liquid form and is the most recommended constipation cure by doctors. For dosages and advice, simply follow the directions on the bottle here. Third is magnesium citrate. It works extremely well also against constipation. You can buy this in either liquid or powdered form. Both are just as good, not only for relieving constipation, but for keeping it away for good, as long as you stay, of course, with a regular daily dose. Around 600 milligrams per day is the maintenance dose. However, more may be required if you're suffering from chronic constipation. And the fourth way to assure your magnesium intake is called natural calm. It's an excellent remedy for treating constipation. And the great thing about this one is because it tastes so good, children love it too. So if one of your little ones is having a bout of constipation right now, be sure to get some natural calm straight away for them. You'll be pleasantly surprised by the results. There's also a great number of well-known home remedies to relieve constipation, and here's a list of some of the better-known ones. Bell fruit is excellent against constipation. Guava provides also roughage and gives relief. 3 tablespoons of castor oil in milk may help also in chronic situations. Drinking 3 to 4 glasses of water in the early morning helps activate your bowel movement and normalize your stool. Adding more fibrous fruits and leafy green vegetables to your diet helps. Having enough sleep helps, at least 7 to 8 hours. Eating only whenever you're feeling hungry and not overeating helps. Using spices like cumin, turmeric, and coriander all help to digest your food better. Cabbage and sauerkraut juice are beneficial in treating constipation. Heat some dry grapes also in milk and drink it after straining. This is also a natural remedy that works great. Water and Epsom salt in the ratio 2 to 1 helps. Kiwis and pears and plums are very helpful. Also fruits like papaya and figs cleans the bowel really well. And fennel and anise tea or seeds dissolved in warm water or milk are beneficial for constipation treatment as well. And one thing, of course, we should not forget about is our diet. which helps us in the first place to avoid constipation, but also, as we have seen, to correct the constipation, to get rid of it after it's happened already. And there are some foods that you should take in and some you should avoid in order to avoid constipation. Why do we need to talk about diet? Because it's the most important cause of constipation. Especially when you have a low dietary fiber intake and you eat heavily on fat. A diet which is high in fiber overcomes the constipation, and chronic constipation can be prevented in adults or children by following the simple rules of diet habits and proper diet information, which are: food should be properly chewed, and each morsel should be chewed for at least 15 times. So chew your food properly. Wholesome diet, fruits, boiled vegetables and soup are great remedies and great foods to take in order to avoid constipation. Vegetables also like radish, turnip, peas, carrots, tomatoes, bitter gourd, beetroot, sprouts, coriander, cabbage. They're all very useful to avoid constipation and to relieve it. Also fresh fruits like avocado, guava, mango, oranges, jamun, papayas and grapes are great. You should also increase the quantity of the salads in your diet, the intake of watermelons, mangoes and cucumbers. Drink more water, also very important. Milk products also like butter, ghee and cream are emollient, and dry fruits like figs, apricots and dates are also great for avoiding constipation. What are some of the foods that cause constipation? Well, you should restrict your non-vegetable, fried, oily and junk foods, because all of those are constipating. You should also restrict your bread, your cakes, your pastas, your pizzas, your burgers, your cookies. They are all as well responsible for constipation. Also restrict your cheese and yogurt intake and avoid spices, fats and excessive salt use. And if it's possible, avoid completely white flour, biscuits, preservatives, white sugar, as well as boiled eggs. So, time for conclusions. Constipation, first and foremost, that's what you need to retain, is a symptom. It's not a disease. And specific symptoms are irregular bowel movement, means passing less than 3 to 5 stools per week, insufficient as well as unsatisfactory stool, a feeling of incomplete bowel evacuation, a straining while passing stool, and in extreme cases you need to use laxatives, as we've seen, but it should be and it is avoidable with the right diet and the right supplements, as we have seen. Constipation is caused by insufficient bile production during the digestion, a lack of potassium as well as magnesium, and the diet does not contain also in many cases enough fiber and vegetables, and is too rich in sugar and starchy foods as well as proteins. A sedentary life and lack of exercise also help create constipation. Hernia, hemorrhoids, anatomic physiological blockages in the colon are also causing constipation, and too little hydration, not drinking enough fluids, water especially, causes constipation, as we have seen. And there are different ways to cure constipation. First and foremost, pay attention to your diet. Add more natural foods such as rhubarb, aloe vera, spinach, prunes, papayas, figs. Warm water also with the freshly squeezed lemon juice is great. And you got in this presentation a whole more of them, of course, listed. And I highly recommend that you pause this video wherever you need to pause it in order to write down all of these remedies, and of course consult always with your natural practitioner before you take any of them. Natural remedies that relieve constipation include the homeopathic remedies that we talked about, as well as herbal laxatives such as senna seeds, Cascara sagrada, fenugreek, psyllium, and homeopathic remedies are treating the symptoms and the real causes of the constipation and do not create dependency like laxatives do. And to heal constipation and to re-establish a normal bowel movement, and treat also the fistulas, the piles, and the hemorrhoids. The best homeopathic remedies here we talked about are Nux vomica, Bryonia, Alumina, Chelidonium majus, Lycopodium, Causticum, Silicea, and Antimonium crudum, as well as Aesculus hypocastanum, and many more as we have seen in this presentation. And the most important natural supplements to relieve constipation are magnesium, either as an oxide or as a citrate, psyllium husks, castor oil, as well as chia seeds. And if you need personal advice and consultation, do not hesitate to call us at 1-888-773-3196 or subscribe to our service that is called Your Online Doctor. I'm going to post the link in the description box below, of course, and we will be more than happy to advise you individually on what is best for you. In this sense, I hope that you've enjoyed this presentation and the information. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay healthy.